Hi, this is the Spanish Fork Library. We're excited to share with you some of our awesome new books. Check them out today. Kingdom of Ash by Sarah Moss. Aelin has risked everything to save her people, but at a tremendous cost. Locked within an iron coffin by the Queen of the Fae, Aelin must draw upon her fiery will as she endures months of torture. Aware that yielding to Maeve will doom those she loves, keeps her from breaking, though her resolve begins to unravel with each passing day. With Aelin captured, Aedion and Lysandra remain the last line of defense to protect Terrasen from utter destruction. Yet they soon realize that the many allies they've gathered might not be enough to save them. Scattered across the continent and racing against time, Chaol, Manon, and Dorian are forced to forge their own paths to meet their fates. Hanging in the balance is any hope of salvation and a better world. Years in the making, this heart-rending finale draws the Throne of Glass series to its epic conclusion. The Red Fox Clan by John Flanagan. After passing her third-year assessment as a ranger's apprentice, Maddie is called home to Castle Aerluin. Forced to keep her ranger training a secret, Maddie feels trapped by the monotony of castle life and longs to find a way out. But there are whisperings of a new threat to the kingdom. The mysterious Red Fox Clan, a group of anarchists, all donning fox masks, have threatened the castle and questioned Princess Cassandra and Madeline's succession to the throne. Will they succeed in unseating Cassandra and Madeline and take the throne for themselves? Bestseller author of The Ranger's Apprentice and Brotherbound series, John Flanagan returns to the captivating follow-up to The Royal Ranger. Perfect for fans of Tolkien, Redwall, and Game of Thrones.
Killing the SS by Bill O'Reilly. Killing the SS is the epic saga of the espionage and daring waged by self-styled Nazi hunters. This determined and disparate group included a French husband and wife team, an American lawyer who served in the army on D-Day, a German prosecutor who had signed an oath to the Nazi Party, Israeli Mossad agents, and a death camp survivor. Over decades, these men and women scoured the world tracking down the SS fugitives and bringing them to justice, which often meant death. Written in a fast-paced style that will educate and stun the reader clear through the final chapter, this is a must nonfiction read. Dare to Lead by Brené Brown. Leadership is not about title, status, and power over people. Leaders are people who hold themselves accountable for recognizing the potential in people and ideas and developing that potential. This is a book for everyone who is ready to choose courage over comfort, make a difference, and lead. An inspiring and motivating book for any nonfiction reader. Slave Stealers by Timothy Ballard. In the 1800s American South, Harriet Jacobs is enslaved and tormented by a cruel master. After abuse and separation from her children, Jacobs outwits her tormentor and eventually reunites with her children. She works in the cause of abolition and reform and helps newly freed slaves with education and aftercare. In 2012, Timothy Ballard encounters a grieving father in Haiti whose 3-year-old son has been kidnapped and sold into slavery, along with thousands of children who were orphaned after an earthquake devastated the country. Inspired by Harriet Jacobs, Tim pledges to track down the missing child and leaves his job at the Department of Homeland Security to establish Operation Underground Railroad. This foundation infiltrates black markets and human trafficking, liberates victims, and provides a comprehensive aftercare process involving justice and rehabilitation for survivors. Slave Stealers alternates these two riveting stories, weaving them together to expose the persistent evil of trafficking and sexual exploitation that has existed for centuries, and inspiring us to find a way to end it. The Clockmakers Daughter by Kate Morton. In the summer of 1862, a group of young artists, led by the passionate and talented Edward Radcliffe, descends upon Birchwood Manor in rural Oxfordshire. Their plan? To spend a secluded summer month in a haze of inspiration and creativity. But by the time their stay is over, one woman has been shot dead while another has disappeared. A priceless heirloom is missing, and Edward Radcliffe's life is in ruins. Over 150 years later, Elodie Winslow, a young archivist in London, uncovers a leather satchel containing two seemingly unrelated items: a sepia photograph of an arresting-looking woman in Victorian clothing, and an artist's sketchbook containing the drawing of a twin-gabled house on the bend of a river. Told by multiple voices across time, The Clockmaker's Daughter is a story of murder, mystery, and thievery, of art, love, and loss. And flowing through it like a river is the voice of a woman who stands outside time, whose name has been forgotten by history, but who has watched it all unfold. Bertie Bell, The Clockmaker's Daughter. The Next Person You Meet in Heaven by Mitch Albom. In this enchanting sequel to the #1 bestseller, The 5 People You Meet in Heaven, the author tells of the story of Eddie's heavenly reunion with Annie, the little girl he saved on Earth, in an unforgettable novel of how our lives and losses intersect. As the novel opens, Annie is marrying Paulo, but when her wedding night day ends in an unimaginable accident, Annie finds herself on her own heavenly journey and an inevitable reunion with Eddie, one of the 5 people who will show her how her life mattered in ways she could not have fathomed. Poignant and beautiful, filled with unexpected twists, The Next Person You Meet in Heaven reminds us that not only does every life matter, but that every ending is also a beginning. We only need to open our eyes to see it. The Reckoning by John Grisham. Pete Banning was Clanton, Mississippi's favorite son, a decorated World War II hero, the patriarch of a prominent family, a farmer, father, neighbor, and a faithful member of the Methodist Church. Then one cool October morning he rose early, drove into town, walked into the church, and calmly shot and killed his pastor and friend, the Reverend Dexter Bell. As if the murder weren't shocking enough, it was even more baffling that Pete's only statement about it to the sheriff, to his lawyers, to the judge, to the jury, and to his family was, "I have nothing to say," unquote. He was not afraid of death and was willing to take his motive to the grave. In a major novel unlike anything he has written before, John Grisham takes us on an incredible journey from the Jim Crow South to the jungles of the Philippines during World War II. From an insane asylum filled with secrets to the Clanton courtroom where Pete's defense attorney tries desperately to save him. Reminiscent of the finest tradition of Southern Gothic storytelling, The Reckoning would not be complete without Grisham's signature layers of legal suspense, and he delivers it on every page.
Come check out these new titles and other awesome books at Spanish Fork Library on 40 South Main. Hope to see you soon.